Hello, everyone, and welcome back to our celebration of the month of St. Dominic here at St. Dominic's Church. I'm Brother Anselm Dominic.
I'm Brother Anthony Maria.
And today, on the Feast of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary, we're talking about the Blessed Virgin Mary and her patronage of the Order of Preachers. Yeah. So that our connection to her really goes back to the very beginning, right?
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, the founding of the order. This is so. First of all, a little context. There's a great book called The Lives of the Brethren, which is one of the earliest histories written on the founding of the Dominican Order, and it was written, within maybe 50 years of the founding of the order. It's very early.
Yeah.
And so one of the stories that are told there by people who were there and knew and remember this stuff is that before the Dominican Order was founded, there were several people in different parts of the world, different religious communities, who were having the same kind of dream or vision, which was that the Virgin Mary was pleading with Christ, her son, and begging him to do something about those who were being lost through error and ignorance. And so Christ, in response to the Virgin Mary's prayers, says that he will found an order of preachers. And so when that finally happens, people saw that and recognized that as a fulfillment of this hope. And really then in that way a fulfillment of the Virgin Mary's prayers. So we like to think that really she is the one responsible, spiritually speaking, for the founding of the order. It was her prayers even before any of this got started that began the whole order of preachers.
Yeah. And so the friars really saw that confirmed after the order's founding, right? They had a lot of experiences of visions of the Blessed Virgin Mary and things like that.
Yeah.
Blessing the order.
Yeah, exactly. You read the Lives of the Brethren, and that was one of the most common things. Even beyond just miracles, which are usually associated with the founding of a religious order or great saints, there's lots of miracles, and there were miracles. But more than anything, there were visions of the Virgin Mary. The brothers would see her in different contexts, have these revelations. Even parts of our habit come through that kind of thing. But in particular, St. Dominic himself had a vision of the Virgin Mary that is very powerful. So one night he's in the dormitory where all the friars are sleeping, and he's just praying over the brothers as they're sleeping. And he sees the Virgin Mary and two other female saints with her, Saint Cecilia and Saint, who's the second one? Oh, St. Catherine, that's right. So St. Catherine and St. Cecilia are there with him, and she's blessing the friars with holy water. Right. And so he goes up to her and has this, he's then kind of transported into heaven through the process of this vision. And there he sees Christ, he sees Mary, and as he's looking around this kind of heaven landscape, he sees people in religious habits, and he sees members of all the different religious orders, but he doesn't see any Dominicans. And he begins weeping. And the Lord says, why are you weeping? He says, well, everyone else is here, but the Dominicans aren't here. And we could think of that selfishly, but we could think of it as just like, he's put his heart into this, and these are the men and the women that he loves, that he's dedicated his life to. And here he is in heaven. Where are they? And Christ says to St. Dominic, would you like me to show you your order? He says, yes, I would, right? Where are they? And so he puts his hand on the Virgin Mary's shoulder, and she's wearing her sort of traditional blue mantle, and she lifts it up, and then the story says that it was as if the mantle sort of filled the whole horizon, and he could see there all of the order of preachers under Mary's mantle. And Christ says to St. Dominic that he has given his order to his mother. And so, again, that's another thing from the founding, and then even to the continuation, the preservation of the order. Everything about Dominican life is under the mantle of Mary.
So the order's always seen itself as having the sort of special, particular favor of the Virgin Mary.
Absolutely.
And so all throughout its history, the Dominicans have particularly promoted devotion to the Virgin Mary because of that. And in particular, one Dominican saint. Talk a little bit about him.
Yes, one of my favorite Dominican saints. A lot of times people don't really even realize that he was a Dominican.
That's right,
because he was a priest, but he wasn't a friar. But he was part of this priestly fraternity of St. Dominic. So he was part of the order, not a friar, but that's St. Louis de Montfort. And he, I think as much as anybody. I mean, I don't know if he has any peers in terms of his level of devotion to Mary.
Yeah, it's hard to think of anyone else. So,
yeah. So if you're familiar with he has a great book called The Treatise on True Devotion to the Blessed Virgin Mary. And it's something that I recommend to everyone, but especially people looking to dive deeper into a relationship with Mary, understanding her role in our spiritual lives, and really then dedicating and consecrating our lives to Jesus through Mary.
Right.
Part of de Montfort's insight is he has this idea that if Christ comes to us through Mary, then the best way for us to go to him is the means that he took to us, which is through Mary. So everything, his sort of motto is to Jesus through Mary. And that, I think, is a great way of summarizing the Dominican spirituality. So it's a very Dominican kind of text and a Dominican devotion of taking time to consecrate your life totally to the Virgin Mary. So I'm so happy to be a Dominican for this reason, right? So I've taken the name Brother Anthony Maria,
right.
And so many of the brothers do. So even though maybe people don't always realize the level of devotion to Mary within the Dominican Order, but it's certainly there.
Yeah, absolutely. Great, thank you. So as we continue with our celebration of the Assumption and the glory of the Virgin Mary, her heavenly glory, now praying for us and watching over us, if you're interested in more about Mary and her patronage of the order, we have a pamphlet that you can pick up in the church, which has a lot more than what we've talked about here today.
We'll see you this Sunday for the Feast of the Assumption.